Thanks for stopping by the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into the real of reality TV.
Talk to me nice, talk to me honestly. Look in my eyes, don't let it fall on me. Say you're a good guy, make me believe it. Don't wanna hear it, I wanna see how. Rewind, when we rewind.
What is going on, guys? So listen, I debated whether I was going to watch this new season of Love and Marriage Huntsville, and I decided to watch it. I haven't been watching it diligently, or it's like, oh, it's coming on tonight. I just caught up on the first 3 episodes a day or two ago on demand. And I'm just watching it just to see what happens. I really don't care. Honestly, I'm surprised that at this point in time, the show is still going, because when I see Marceau and Letitia still trying to build this monstrosity of a mansion that I feel is 100% ridiculous. It looks more ridiculous than Chateau Charest or Neverland, like Nene was calling it, until it was finally built. But yeah, it just looks really ridiculous. It's like, why are you doing that? Because by the time you eventually get it done, I don't believe any of the kids will still be in the home. Definitely the son won't be, because he's about to go to college. And I definitely don't see him coming back home to live with them. Not because he wouldn't need to, probably just because he wouldn't want to, and he just want to have his freedom. But I'm saying, Maurice, over these seasons of this show, and Marceau as well, this Scott brothers, I feel like, period, they try to position themselves as these upstanding men, like these manly men, these male figures that should be aspired to be like. And he definitely positioned himself to not only be a supportive husband to Kimmi, but also allegedly a dedicated stepfather. But a lot of us just weren't buying it, because a lot of people felt like he only got custody of his biological son so that he could give this image off as if he is taking care of his son, but yet had Kimmi doing all of the grunt work. So on screen interviews, confessionals, he's spoken about the bond that he allegedly shared with Jaylen, and even referring to him as his own sometimes. And some people felt like that was commendable, but a lot of people feel like that's a narrative that needs to be challenged. So I just want to play a little bit of this clip from this most recent episode. So I want to share my screen with you guys so that you can see what was said, because I found it uncomfortable and I was cringing, and I could tell that he was taking offense to it. But it's like, dude, if this is Jaylen's experience, you can't knock it or take it away from him. So you can see my screen here. So let's just go ahead and get into this. And I'm just giving critique and commentary under the Fair Use Act. So let's get into it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I kind of want something a little new. I've been here my whole life. Been here with my mom my whole life. So trying to figure out, a new path.
And you feel like leaving helps you do that?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what's going to help. Like, honestly.
Figuring your...
I mean, you see how hypocritical that sounds? Did he grow up in Huntsville, Alabama? He's from Detroit, right? So obviously he left at some point. Jaylen is a young adult. So yeah, he's trying to find his own way. He doesn't have any kids holding him down. He doesn't, as far as I know, have a relationship that's keeping him bound there. So why not spread his wings and go to another state if he has an opportunity, and figure out if that's something that he wants to try out and do and be.
Yourself out, that's important too, I was even thinking about, because I talked to Kimmi about the family business. What was your thoughts about that?
I was a little hesitant. I was a little hesitant just because I feel like I've come to know the Scotts
What does that
very
mean,
well.
man? What does that mean?
Both of y'all's tendencies are, especially like towards me, is just like, hey, look, get out there and figure it out. Everybody has their hands in, or is it going to be like Maurice at the top pointing to us, talking about, hey, look, handle this. I need you to pick Monster up, take him here so he can do this. Take him here so he can do that.
And we know that that definitely is the truth. And Jaylen is just speaking from experience. He's not trying to put Maurice out there. I don't believe he even felt comfortable talking about it on camera, but because he was presented with this on camera, it was like, well, yeah, this is my time. Let me just go ahead and be honest instead of sugarcoating to try to make him look a certain type of way when I feel a certain type of way.
I don't think y'all give, well, not y'all, you give Monster the same leash or not leash. I can't think
I know
of
what
the
you're
word.
saying. I know what you're
But
saying. Like
the leniency.
Yeah.
Growing up, when me and him were both in the house, you would always come ask me to do stuff. And I'm sitting here like, your son's sitting right in there playing the video game just like I.
You hear him? He didn't say my brother or even my stepbrother. He said your son is sitting right in the room there playing video games and you're coming at me.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I didn't really like that, you know, too much.
You parent each child differently. Did it work? And right now, it seems like it worked.
The pride is unreal. When I saw that on this episode and he said that, I was like, is this edited correctly? Did he really say that in response to what they were talking about, or was he talking about something else? And hey, it could be possible that what he was talking about was in reference to something else that they asked him, but they put it up that way because let's be clear, editing is a real thing and they can do things like that. So I'm not even going to say that he was talking about that specific conversation when he said that, but I wouldn't doubt it because of the pride.
Did you feel difference in love? Like I love Monster more or differently
Well, I
than you?
mean, of course, he's your son. I'm not your actual son.
You're not?
No, I'm saying I am, but you would have more love for your actual flesh and blood.
This is the thing. When Kimmi told me that you said that Marceau was more of a father figure than I was, at first it's like a kick in the stomach. Then you start thinking about like, dang, man. As a parent, the whole time you're like, okay, if being too hard doesn't work, you want to loosen up some. Your formative years, parents they're busy trying to make sure they get it right because they always want their children to do better than them.
Instead of just saying, you know what, dude, I didn't know you felt that way. And if I made you feel that way and you're telling me now because I was unaware of it, I'm sorry because I did not want you to feel any different. And I do look at you as my son. And I, even at this age and as you get older, I want you to see me as your, as your father. And I see you as my son. He's giving excuse upon excuse upon excuse. And you know, that's the thing when it comes to Maurice and these situations like this, because honestly, I feel like he brought this up because he felt the jab of Kimmi telling him that Jaylen told her that he felt like Marceau was more of a father figure to him than Maurice was. So, you know, some may say that Maurice tried, you know, he may have tried at least his best and the disconnect was just kind of natural because yeah, he is his stepchild and maybe Kimmi, because we didn't see what was outside of cameras on cameras, especially before they got on the show, so it's possible that Kimmi never gave him the opportunity to really connect with Jaylen. We don't know that, but you know, many others believe that Maurice is just playing a role for the cameras, you know, and It's just seeing this is a reminder that just being present doesn't always equal being impactful in somebody's life. He talks about the formative years and how you're just trying to do your best and you're trying to do this and you're trying to do that. But yeah, you may have been present there and even speaking to him, but it doesn't mean that you connected with him. And Jalen's pretty much letting it be known that we didn't have a connection. And your son that you call Monster is your actual child. But you would come at me to do stuff when you're not even correcting your own biological son. And then when it came to doing things for the son that needed to be done, a lot of those duties and tasks were left upon Kimmi. And so a lot of people feel like Kimmi didn't really do the work to try to connect her son and her soon to be and then husband, because when they came on the show they got married in the first season and they were in a relationship for, I believe it was several years. So it just seems like she was just putting her all into having this man and having this eventual husband, that she never really cared that much about the connection. And the days are long but the years fly by. You will not believe how the years do fly. And then when you look back on those years and those days, those months, those weeks, and those days that went by, and the work was never done, and then it becomes a point where it's too late, then all you can do is really sit and either grovel in it or grow from it and move on. But Maurice, he wants to confront Jaylen in an effort to quell this, this look of Marceau was more of a father figure to Jaylen than I was, what Jaylen is saying. So honestly, it's more about that than Jalen's actual feelings. And that's the sad part about the situation, because even when Kimmi brought it up to Maurice, it was just kind of a matter of fact conversation. It wasn't even so much, I feel disappointed because my son has been disappointed in the relationship that really is non-existent at this point, and it's kind of too late. And then at the end of the episode, which it ends in a to be continued, it's Marceau and Maurice having a conversation slash confrontation about this situation to debate. And it's like, this is the type of stuff that's tiring for me. One of the reasons why I kind of fell off of watching the show, not to mention Arion's baby wipe, Martell Hotel Holt, which now he's talking about her more on the show, which I'm not surprised. That doesn't surprise me at all. But I'm not going to go into that right now. I might come back and talk about that at another point in time. But yeah, I saw this scene and I was really uncomfortable because to me, it just felt like, how dare you make me look this type of way on TV when I've been there for you? And him being there for him is just being present and being financially present in his life, not so much the actual relationship. You know what I mean? So it was just really, it was just really sad to see that. And Jaylen, he seems to have a really good head on his shoulders in spite of, maybe somewhat, because of, but I also feel like in spite of Maurice not really being the father figure that could have been, because I don't know if he even knows who his biological father is. I really have no idea. And they may have talked about it before and I just don't really recall, because like I said, when I started watching the show in the very beginning, when it came on, I wasn't actively watching it. I was more so watching it in the background or later on. And it was just because of the city that it was in, because at the time, literally that year that it came out was the same year my husband got hired by a company in Huntsville, Alabama. And so part-time, we did have an apartment down there, but we didn't really stay there. We were just there a little bit because he was mainly working overseas, and then he would come home to where we actually live in another state. But so it was just kind of of interest to me, like, oh my God, I had never even heard of Huntsville, Alabama before he got his job. And then at the same time, there's this new show premiering on the OWN network called Love and Marriage Huntsville. So it was just kind of like a bit interesting to me. But a lot of things that came on, I really didn't pay attention to, honestly. So, guys, I really want to know what you think. Is Maurice guilty of inflating his role just for the TV cameras, or is this just a difference in perception between the two? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll get into it there as we continue to talk about this. I was about to say a word, but I'm not going to say that. But yeah, let's just get into it in the comments, guys.
Thanks for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.